Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a problem for the result, Herc, but what do you think about all this?
Not a problem for the result at all. They did fine without Messi. That was the least of their worries. In fact, Houston should be thankful that Messi didn't show up if that's what they did without Messi. Buyer beware. I mean, Barack is right, weather forecast permitting, but what he said about baseball, Aaron Judge, the Yankees, you could look at load management in the NBA. You can't guarantee somebody's going to be on the court. And Houston coming out and having to apologize and offer game day tickets for future events is Mickey Mouse. It is so just ridiculous here. It makes the league look bad. You're trying to say, you're openly admitting that you're not the attraction here, that your team isn't the reason people are coming out. And we already know this, and that's fine. But you can't do this. It makes the league look bad on so many different scales. You know what this does tell me, by the way, for Major League Soccer? Your games don't mean anything. Because Javier Mascherano would rather say, I need Messi to be 100% for Cavalier in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, rest Messi for this game. Rightfully so, because of that. You got to choose a game, choose whatever game you want, but you got to rest him one of those games. You said 10 days, 3 games. He would rather rest him against Houston, against the Dynamo, because he knows a loss, even if they did lose to Houston Dynamo right now, isn't going to mean anything. You can lose, Miami can lose the next 2 months of games. 2 months of games. And they could still potentially go on a run, make playoffs, and win MLS Cup. So games don't mean anything because there's no promotion relegation. Games don't mean anything because how many teams get in? 63% of the league. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Pick a game. Let me pick Houston, the game that doesn't mean anything. And guess what? The Caribbean, Cavalier, Jamaica, CONCACAF Champions Cup, that means more. That's what should hurt here. Not the fact that Messi didn't show up. It should hurt that Houston, Major League Soccer in this case, is not enough value for Javier Mascherano to say, you know what, let's take this game seriously.
Well, then MLS should take this into their own hands. Here's my suggestion, and you guys can take it as a joking statement or not. But every time somebody buys a ticket to any MLS game, possibly involving Lionel Messi, throw in a fine print. Throw in a waiver, accepting that this is a risk. It's a possibility that he's not going to show up because these and it's sad that these fans are spending so much money. But Herc, why did it
should we not as fans have common sense?
Right, but not all fans have common sense at the end of the day because it's a possibility, and they're in their right to complain. I understand.
Because Herc.
Me too.
Because they're not MLS fans. They are Messi fans. That's the difference.
But fans of any sport, this goes for basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever the case may be. You cannot demand your money back because the person you wanted to see is not there. That's not how it works. This is not the world we live in. It's not the customer is always right here.
And come on, you still got Sergio Busquets. You got Jordi Alba, and you got Luis Suarez with 3 assistances and 1 goal.
Oh, come on, Barry.
You got Luis Suarez. You cannot complain.
They came from Messi.
Of course, but they shouldn't complain. They got Luis Suarez. It's not a bad deal.
Now, this is what I will say. I do feel bad for the people who spent money. Some of those people, money probably they shouldn't be spending for the opportunity, in their eyes, the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity of seeing the GOAT, Lionel Messi. I understand that, and he doesn't show up. I understand some of these people probably don't live in Houston proper. I understand some of these people live probably an hour or 2 away. They're making a trip. They're making the exception because they want to see Messi. But that's the risk you take. That's sports nowadays. I don't see how you can blame the league, how you can be mad at Houston. And for the life of me, I do not understand the Houston Dynamo for putting this out there and trying to refund, of all things, an extra game ticket when they don't even want to go to the regular games. They want to go to see Messi.
Yeah, it's a tough situation for sure, and it's very tricky territory. I'm sure a lot of clubs are kind of thinking right now, would we do this? Would we take that extra step? The good news, and Herc, as you mentioned, Miami had no problem winning this match 4-1, and as Herc said, Barak, lucky, Dynamo in general, lucky that Messi didn't make this game.
Yeah, and that's the problem with Houston Dynamo. I think you know it. I mean, in terms of attendance average, it's one of the lowest attendance, as far as I know, in the MLS. So that problem you probably would never get with other teams. Of course, there will be disappointment, but the team is first. I want my team to win, and if I can see Messi, wow, excellent. Here, when it comes to teams like Houston,
here?
yeah.
Yeah, just for those fans who are watching the show and who want to go to a Major League Soccer game and it's an away game from Leo Messi. Leo Messi has averaged over 400,000 more in attendance, about 33, according to Forbes, about 33 plus per game that he plays away. But he's played half of the available games to him away. It's either because of injury or because of international duty. So buyer beware at your own risk. This is the world you're going to live in when it comes to wanting to see Messi, and he's not at their Fort Lauderdale Stadium.
It's tough all around. And like I said, it's a very, I don't want to say it's a personal decision for each club, but it's something that they definitely have to think about. For Dynamo, it clearly caused a distraction. It's hard to say that it didn't cause a distraction with so many fans that showed up. And like you said, Herc, yeah, feel for that fan that we heard that drove 6 hours, although I will say, very biased because I grew up in Houston. Going to Houston anytime, it's a treat.